On August 23, 2007, at exactly 12:25 p.m., a single tweet containing a simple symbol would forever change how billions of people communicate online. That symbol? The hashtag. But here's what most people don't know. This symbol is over 1,000 years old, and its journey from medieval manuscripts to becoming the most powerful organizing tool on the internet is a story of accidental genius, corporate resistance, and a developer who refused to take no for an answer. By the end of this video, you'll discover why Twitter initially rejected the hashtag, how a 2009 Iranian Revolution proved its true power, and the shocking reason why this symbol almost disappeared from keyboards forever. This is the fascinating origin of the hashtag. Before the hashtag became a cultural phenomenon, it was known by a far less exciting name, the octothorpe. But its story begins even earlier in ancient Rome. The symbol we know today descended from the abbreviation LB for libra pondo, the Latin term for pound weight. Medieval scribes, always looking for shortcuts, would scribble LB so hastily that the letters eventually merged together, forming a crossed pattern. By the 14th century, this evolved into the symbol we recognize today. But the octothorpe truly entered the modern age in 1968 at Bell Laboratories in Murray Hill, New Jersey. Engineers were designing the touch-tone telephone keypad and needed 2 additional buttons beyond the standard 0 through 9. They added the asterisk and our mysterious symbol. According to legend, Bell Labs engineer Don McPherson coined the term octothorpe. The octo referred to its 8 points, while thorpe was supposedly added to honor Jim Thorpe, the Olympic athlete. Though some dispute this origin, the name stuck in technical circles. When computer scientists developed the ASCII character set in the 1960s and 70s, they included the octothorpe as character 35. In programming languages like C, it became the symbol for preprocessor directives. On Unix systems, it denoted the root user or began comments. The symbol was useful, but still confined to the realm of engineers and programmers. The hashtag as we know it didn't exist yet. That would require the perfect storm of technology, creativity, and one persistent visionary. The year is 2007. Facebook is 3 years old. YouTube is being sold to Google. And Twitter, the microblogging platform that limits messages to 140 characters, is struggling to organize the chaos of millions of short posts. Enter Chris Messina, a 27-year-old product designer and open-source advocate working in San Francisco. Messina had been fascinated by how internet relay chat channels used symbols to organize conversations. He wondered, could this work on Twitter? On that fateful day, August 23, 2007, Messina sent a tweet to Twitter co-founder Evan Williams. How do you feel about using hashtag pound for groups? As in hashtag barcamp? MSG? The response from Twitter was underwhelming. Twitter's leadership dismissed the idea. They thought hashtags were too nerdy, too technical, something only developers would use. The pound symbol felt like computer programming, not human conversation. They wanted Twitter to remain simple, clean, accessible to everyone. But Messina didn't need permission. Twitter was an open platform. In October 2007, massive wildfires swept through San Diego County. Twitter users spontaneously began using hashtag San Diego Fire to share real-time updates, evacuation information, and news. For the first time, people could follow a single topic simply by clicking a symbol. The hashtag began spreading organically. Music fans used hashtag #NowPlaying to share what they were listening to. Tech enthusiasts adopted hashtag #FollowFriday to recommend accounts. Television viewers live tweeted shows with hashtags. Without any official support from Twitter, users were creating their own organizational system. Twitter's executives began to notice. In July 2009, 2 years after Messina's original tweet, Twitter finally made hashtags clickable. When you clicked on a hashtag, it would show you all tweets containing that tag. The feature that Twitter thought was too nerdy had become indispensable. But the hashtag's true power wouldn't be revealed until later that same year, during a moment that would change history. Before we continue with how the hashtag became a tool of revolution, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the fascinating origins of everyday things, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who loves learning about technology and culture, and subscribe to the fascinating origin of things. Your support helps us continue uncovering the incredible stories behind the world around us. Now, let's return to 2009, and a moment when the hashtag stopped being just a social media feature and became a force for global change. June 2009. Following a disputed presidential election in Iran, millions took to the streets in what became known as the Green Movement. The Iranian government immediately cracked down, blocking traditional media outlets and restricting journalists. But they couldn't stop the hashtag. Iranian citizens and supporters worldwide began using hashtag Iran election and hashtag Neda in honor of Neda Aga Sultan, whose death was captured on video, to share information. The hashtags became a real-time news feed that no government could censor, no corporation could control, and no traditional media outlet could ignore. Western news organizations, struggling to get reporters into Iran, turned to Twitter hashtags for their coverage. The U.S. State Department even asked Twitter to delay scheduled maintenance so Iranian protesters could continue coordinating. This moment proved a concept. Hashtags weren't just for organizing conversations about TV shows or music. They could organize movements, amplify voices, and challenge power structures. The pattern repeated during the Arab Spring of 2010 to 2011. Hashtag Egypt, hashtag January 25th, hashtag Tahrir became rallying cries. Dictators fell, in part, because hashtags helped activists coordinate and share their stories with the world. By 2013, every major social media platform had adopted hashtags. Facebook, which initially resisted, integrated them. Instagram built its entire discovery system around them. Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, even Google+, remember that? Embraced the hashtag. The 2010s became the decade of hashtag activism. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, started by 3 women in 2013, grew into a global movement. Hashtag #MeToo, which exploded in 2017, toppled powerful figures and changed workplace culture forever. Hashtag Climate Strike organized millions of young people demanding climate action. But hashtags weren't just for serious causes. They also shaped popular culture. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised over $220 million for ALS research. Hashtag Throwback Thursday became a weekly ritual for millions. Brands discovered that the right hashtag could make a campaign go viral. Marketers, initially skeptical, realized hashtags were marketing gold. Super Bowl commercials began prominently featuring hashtags. Product launches depended on them. A successful hashtag could be worth millions in free advertising. The symbol that Twitter thought was too nerdy had become the language of the internet itself. Today, over 125 million hashtags are used on Twitter every day. Instagram posts with at least one hashtag see 12.6% more engagement than those without. The hashtag has become so embedded in digital culture that it's influenced how we speak offline. People literally say hashtag in conversation. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag no filter. It's become a linguistic marker, a way to add commentary or irony to our statements. Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake famously parodied this phenomenon in a viral sketch. But what about Chris Messina, the man who started it all? He never patented the hashtag, never made a dime from his invention. When asked why, he said he believed in the open web and wanted the hashtag to be free for everyone. Twitter, meanwhile, has attempted to trademark the hashtag multiple times, despite initially rejecting it. Of course, the hashtag isn't without controversy. Critics argue that hashtag activism can devolve into slacktivism, people feeling they've contributed to a cause simply by using a hashtag. Marketers have oversaturated the space, with some posts containing dozens of barely relevant hashtags. Bad actors have used hashtags to spread misinformation and coordinate harassment campaigns. Social media platforms now curate trending hashtags to prevent abuse. They've added context to trending topics, fact-checking labels, and content warnings. The hashtag, like any tool, can be used for good or ill. So what's next for the hashtag? As we move into Web 3, the metaverse, and new forms of social media, will the hashtag remain relevant? Some new platforms are moving away from hashtags. Be Real doesn't use them. Some Discord communities minimize them. TikTok's algorithm prioritizes content based on viewing behavior more than hashtags. Yet the hashtag has proven remarkably resilient. It survived the transition from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. It's outlasted countless other internet trends. The reason? It solves a fundamental human need, the desire to organize information and find like-minded communities. From ancient Roman abbreviations to medieval scribes, from telephone keypads to programming languages, from a rejected Twitter suggestion to a tool of global revolution. The hashtag's journey mirrors the internet itself. A simple symbol that gained power not from corporate planning or marketing campaigns, but from people finding value in it and spreading it organically. Chris Messina's tweet on August 23, 2007, wasn't just a suggestion for organizing Twitter groups. It was an invitation to reimagine how we categorize information, discover communities, and amplify voices in the digital age. The hashtag reminds us that the most transformative innovations often come from the margins, not from boardrooms. That the best features are those users adopt because they actually need them, not because they're pushed by corporations. And that sometimes, a tool designed for one purpose can end up changing the world in ways nobody imagined. The next time you type that symbol, whether to join a conversation, start a movement, or just share what you're having for lunch, remember, you're using a piece of living history, a symbol that's over 1,000 years old, rejected by the platform it made famous, and now used billions of times every day. That's the fascinating origin of the hashtag. What everyday object should we explore next? Let us know in the comments section. And don't forget to hashtag your thoughts. Until next time, keep questioning the ordinary.